Hi, my name's Matt Hayes. Welcome to the hottest fishing show on the box. Yes, we're talking about total fishing, and we're going to kick this show off in spectacular style with some pike fishing on a local gravel pit before moving off and changing pace while we go chub fishing on a small stream. We've got high tech, of course, in which we look at the most modern fishing tackle which is available to us right now, and then after the break we'll be going fishing real simple style by freelining for some carp down Oxford Way. We've also got some casting. Now, if you think you're a good caster, take a look at the guy who can cast 60 fly rods at the same time. It's spectacular stuff. And to round the show off, we've got some hot action from Australia when me and my mate Shane Mensforth go and take on the mighty bronze whaler shark, scourge of the Australian coast. For our first sequence, we're going pike fishing, and my old mate Max Cottis is going to be with me. Now let's just hope that Max is better at catching pike than he is at getting his hair cut.
That's better. Is it? Yeah. I suppose relatively warm still. I mean, these Octobers now are just getting...
Oh, it's a beautiful...
I've been here today.
No, don't say that.
We should well have been carping.
They're fighting hard though, aren't they, really? For pike at this time of year, they're really going well. And, you know, they get their heads down into this weed that's still there, which is causing problems with the presentation. And when you feel you put the hook into them initially, they feel like really big fish. And because they pull back, they're a bit confusing at first. Whee! That's what we want.
He wants to be a star.
Hey! Lovely jubbly.
Oh, there's a hook flying out. That.
Is there?
Yeah, we're get the pulse in from that. We'll just pop it.
All right. Lovely, lively fish.
There's one.
I think we should emphasise here again that
the reason we're going to do this is the hook out.
the hook is outside the fish's mouth, and if you're experienced with pike, you can afford to take them by hand, but it's not something we recommend youngsters or anyone who's slightly nervous of pike to do. You take your chances if you do this. It's probably kinder on the pike, but there are times and places to do it.
She's a double.
Yeah, it's a nice fish.
It's a nice fish.
Okay.
Easy.
All right. I've got it.
Huh? I'll go and get the
Yeah, I think you should.
scales and the sleeves.
I'm going to keep her in the water while we do this.
Right in the scissors.
Yeah, right in the scissors. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got it.
And you want to go on the shaft, Matt?
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm just lifting that one for you.
That's it. Brilliant stuff.
Pick that one out.
Just pop her in the sleeve.
Yeah. We've got to be a bit careful there, not to damage the pike's teeth.
All
There you go, lovely dark fish. I've got it. Okay. I think we'll do this by the water, Max, eh?
Yes.
Let's drop her on. What you got there, old son? 13? 13, 7? Let's have a look at this one, Max, because it's got a lovely dark coloration. Beautiful looking fish. Look at that. Look how pronounced the spots are. They go right down to the, almost to underneath her belly, look.
She doesn't want
She
you
doesn't want me to play with her.
No. I've heard that about the women.
Now, if you had to fish for just one British coarse fish species for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Well, I'll tell you what I'd choose chub. Why? Well, they'll feed in a whole range of temperatures from freezing cold to boiling hot. They'll eat a whole range of baits, from literally chips from a chip wrapper right the way through to chunks of banana. And if I had to fish for chub on just one venue, then it would most definitely be a small, intimate stream. They're obviously interested in it, but they're a little bit nervous.
There's one above it now, had another look. It's fascinating to watch these fish and their reaction to bait. And don't forget, this is happening all the time when you're ledgering and you're just not aware of it. Looking at the bait, deciding not to take it, having another look, moving away, coming back, nudging it. There's a fish now. He nearly took it. He went within 2 inches of the bait and just swam over the top. He wants it, but he's very nervous of it. There's a chub and a barbel together now. The barbel just swam straight over the top of the bait, probably about 4 inches above it. There's a chub approaching the bread now. Oh, he's sucked it in. Typical stamper chub for this river, probably about 2 3/4, 3 pounds. Lovely fish, and under normal circumstances, I'd be absolutely delighted to catch it. But when there's barbel in the swim, I must admit, the big old whiskers would appeal quite nicely now. This is a small stream very near to where I live. I'm a very lucky man because in this tiny river there are barbel, chub, perch, dace, roach and pike. And just downstream there's a very overgrown swim consisting of a bush and very shallow water, probably only about 18 inches, 2 feet deep. But underneath that bush there's always some chub. Let's go and see if we can catch one on a free line bait. Come on. I'm going to go down there and hide behind those rushes and just literally drop a bait into the flow so it gets carried underneath the tree branches. There's loads of nettles and stuff down there, but it's worth it if I can catch a big chub. You, fortunately, haven't got to go through such discomforts. What about you standing over there on the bank, keeping out of sight and watching me, hopefully, catch a fish? See you in a minute. Right, I'm going to free line this bait right underneath the tree. Got no shots or weights on the line. I'm just going to let the current sweep it under the bush. You can catch chub on the most ridiculously strong and crude tackle, with one proviso, and that's that you don't spook the fish. If they detect your presence, you can use the finest tackle in the world and you won't get a bite. But if you can stay quiet and out of sight and creep up on them, you could use 10 or 15 pound line if you wanted to, provided they've got no reason to be suspicious, they take your bait. And that's the biggest mistake I see anglers making when they're fishing for chub. They thump along to the swim, and what they can't see is that those fish will depart as soon as they arrive. And the more disturbance they make, the greater the possibility that they won't get a bite off chub that have been in the swim when they arrived. You really can't afford to let them know that you're around. There you go. Now I've got to hold this fish hard. He's going for the roots. I can see him under the raft. There's no room for finesse. You've just got to haul the things out. Ugh. Right, he's going into the weed. Got to get his head up and over the net. This is a good one. Come on. Straight into the net. Ugh. Got him. I'm sorry about the lack of finesse, folks. Lovely fish. Classic river chub. If you're fed up with split shot damaging your line, then you could almost certainly do with a tub of this stuff. It's called super weight, and what it is rig putty. Now,
The beauty of rig putty is that when you squeeze it in your fingers, it's very, very soft and malleable, and you can mould it around small stop knots on the line. But when you dip it in water, it goes really hard. It's heavy, heavier than shot in fact, and it's really good for popping up baits or weighting down floats, any situation when you can't afford to have any extra weakness in your line. So remember, it's called super weight, it is in fact rig putty, and no serious fisherman should be without it. Now, modern carp fishing's just great, what with all the buzzers and the bivvies and the high-tech baits and stuff, but you know, all of that pales into insignificance when you can catch a carp at close range. Now, to do it, all you need is the simplest of tackle. A rod, a reel, a landing net, a pocket full of baits. And what you've got to do is when you put that bait in front of the fish's nose, you've got to use your eyes. To make his mind up there.
Wonderful. Right to the camera.
Now, how good a fly caster are you? Can you cast a fly 20 yards, 30 yards? How about trying 2 rods at the same time? Well, while I was down at Flindray Fishery in Swansea, my old mate Jud Hamblin reckoned that he could cast 60 fly rods simultaneously. Now, this guy's surely got to be joking, right? This man, let me tell you, has a hidden talent. Yes, it's Jud Hamblin, fly fishing expert, superb casting instructor, and a man who can in fact cast umpteen thousand fly rods at a time. Well, maybe not quite that many, but he's going to have a go at casting how many, Jud?
50 we hope to.
50 rods, okay. But first of all, folks, before we let the expert do it, I've rather foolishly agreed to have a crack at this myself, and I've got a feeling I'm going to regret it. Well, I've done some stupid things in my life, but I've now got 5 fly rods in each hand. Everybody behind the camera is laughing at me, and I'm going to try and prove them all wrong by lifting these rods back and casting 10 fly rods at a time, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll, please. Here we go. Oh, the wind's got up. Here we go. Hey, how was that? They all touched the water. That was brilliant. Well, as you can see, the expert's now in action. He's got a team of blokes loading him up with the rods. I'm just going to ask Jud a couple of questions while he's doing this, risking life and limb. Jud, how long have you been doing this, and will you be better in the morning?
I don't think so.
and why do you do it, Jud?
It's better than climbing Mount Everest.
Well, because it's there.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how many rods you've got in your hand now, but it's quite a few anyway. What's the maximum number that you've done in practice, Jud?
Over 60, about 62.
62 rods all at the same time.
Yeah.
And what qualifies for actually doing it correctly? Have all the lines got to be in the air or what?
Yeah, they've got to be all area light, behind and forward.
Right, so it's aerialised lines behind and forward. And is it getting hard work now, Jud? You must be up to about, what, 38, 39? Probably up to 40 now. There's probably about 10 rods to go. We're up to about 42 rods and still going. And look at this man, he's like a porcupine here with all these trout fishing rods. Oh, I've got to tell you, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this. OK, so we've done the build-up. Mr. Jud Hamblin now, ladies and gentlemen. 25 fly rods in each hand. Come on then, Jud, go for it, son. Yes, and there you are, ladies and gentlemen. 50 fly rods cast at the same time by none other than multiple rod casting champion, Mr. Jud Hamblin. That is what I call total fishing. Now, during my travels around the world, I've hooked up with some pretty interesting characters, I can tell you, but none more interesting than the next guest, funny enough. He's a guy called Shane Mensforth, an Australian pro angler who's got typical Aussie characteristics. He's big, he's bad, he loves to take the rise out of the poms, and this guy's got a serious attitude problem. But I'll tell you what, when I went bronze whaler shark fishing with Shane, it was a real interesting experience. Contrast his style with mine. On the one hand, the English angler with all the finesse and all the touch. And on the other hand, a guy on the end of the rod and line who's determined that that shark is coming to the boat no matter what he has to do. And I'll tell you what, having fished with this guy for some of the most dangerous sharks in the world, you just gotta feel sorry for the shark. Just woken up from the roughest night at sea I've certainly spent, and even an old sea dog like Shane said he got about an hour's sleep last night. But it's battle stations now, because around this boat we've got about 7 or 8 bronze whaler sharks, up to something like 300 or 400 pounds. And when they talk about shark-infested waters, you can imagine what they mean when you see these things circling around the boat. We've got some baits over the side, but they've taken all of those. We're just preparing the tackle now to have a go for one of these things. Rolf's sharpening the hooks. We've got Shane stand up and fight 80-pound tackle, and that should be more than enough to cope with sharks like this in this type of terrain, which is a very, very rocky bottom. Now, the bronze whaler shark isn't in the white shark's league when it comes to eating people. But when you see a pack of bronzes worked up like this, it doesn't take a genius to work out that these sharks are dangerous. A member of the requiem shark family, which also includes hammerheads and tiger sharks, the bronze whaler has been known to attack people. In fact, on our first day in Australia, we purchased a local newspaper, only to discover that the front page headline concerned an attack by a whaler shark on a surfer. Now, that was one shark on its own. Imagine what this lot could do to you. This is a beast of a rod, isn't it, Shane? Huh?
Wasn't designed for that.
It was a start, but in all honesty, the first shark didn't stand much of a chance. But I'd caught the first fish, and as you can see, rather than kill it, we're tagging and releasing the sharks. This involves the use of a long pole with a plastic tag in the end. Each tag is unique and contains its own individual serial number. The tag is attached to the body of the fish so that if it turns up later, either recaptured or in a net, it carries with it information, and each individual shark has its own history. Each tag has a corresponding record card, which the angler completes and returns to a central administration point. In this way, not only do fishermen learn more about their quarry, but scientists glean valuable information too. Through here, boys.
Keep down the other way.
Back in!
Can we get the hook back? Oh, yes.
No, not yet.
Yes. Get the hook back on this bar. You what? Video.
I'll tell you what, last night was incredibly rough. We were tossed around like corks in a bottle. And several of the members of this team are feeling a bit groggy this morning. Shane just chuckled there because he's one of them. And he's an experienced angler at this type of thing. It's supposed to be an old sea dog, and he looked very green around the gills last night. about 2 o'clock in the morning when I joined him on deck. I said, have you had much sleep, Shane? He said, no, I've had about an hour. This fish is coming towards the boat now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. None of it, none of it, none of it. No good, this. Oh, he's round the rope. I know he's not. No, no, he's still there.
There it is. He's tagged.
All right, knife, knife, get the hook.
Good job, huh?
Knife, knife, knife.
On the wrong side to see it. For you to see the
Over there, over there.
Well done.
Got him, boy.